Hello Duelist, welcome to the Hive. This is Jordan speaking, providing you with a Lunalight deck profile. When it comes to Lunalight, a lot of people are playing it as a Towers Turbo deck or as a rank 4 spam engine. I've decided to do something a little bit different, with the idea being I want to make an unbreakable board. Been able to do this quite a few times. I've not lost many games with the deck in this build yet, only one out of the past, 18. It's been really good for Euros prep, and I thought I'd show it off to you all while I can. So we have 3 Gold Leo. This is the perfect card for the deck. It's the ultimate starter. It searches, it discards for effect, it can add back from grave when a Lunalight is sent to the graveyard. It does everything you need and so much more. It facilitates rank 4 plays because it is a rank 4, and this is a 1-card combo. We follow this up with 3 Tiger. Now, a lot of people are not playing Tiger at 3, they're usually going for 1 or sometimes 2. I think this is a completely wrong thing to do. The card is broken as it is a 3-monster reborn that is not once per turn. It's so easy to loop it. You'll find a lot of combos people do loop it, and having access to it a lot earlier makes things a lot better. We follow this up with 2 Kaleido Chick and 2 Yellow Martin. Kaleido Chick is the heart and soul of the deck. It's a non-once per turn send for effect cost. It copies the card's name, which is how you are able to get into Liger Dancer so easily. It does also just fill your graveyard up with more effects. Now, Yellow Martin, a lot of people are just playing this at 1. I've gone for 2 because I wanted to maximise my consistency. Usually when this hits the grave, people will Bestial it, they'll DD Crow it immediately, because they don't want you to be able to resolve it. Whereas, if that happens, having a second copy prevents that from happening. Now, as you will notice, this is a small deck, as we're being only 40 cards, and I have decided to only go for a minimal engine, so I could fit more non-engine and more degenerate things in. So following on with that, we have 2 Silverhound and 1 Black Sheep. Now, this is the last of the main deck Lunalight names. Now, as you'll see, there's no Wolf. In some locals profiles, you will see that I was playing Wolf. I've decided to take it out. It's not a necessary card. It's very win more. You only really need it if you're trying to go for 2 Liger Dancer instead of 1, whereas I think 1 is more than enough. But the Silverhound on its own is an incredible card. It special summons any Lunalight from the deck. The thing is, you are locked into Lunalights from the extra while that card's on the board, but you've got so many ways to bounce it or get rid of it. And Black Sheep is an incredible card right now. It searches Poly. It also can just add back any Lunalight from grave. So if you do send Tiger, for example, you can add it straight back. And part of your main combo, you will send this with Gold Leo and just get it straight back, so you can use its effect to search for polymerization. Now, for the Lunalight spells and traps, we have 1 Masquerade. Now, I know this is completely against the grain. Most people play 3 because it is a starter. However, it is the worst starter of the lot. It does send for effect, which means you can combo off. Like if you were to send Silverhound, for example, you can just special summon a Gold Leo and get going from there. However, it's very susceptible to a lot of cards and effects, especially Ghost Ogre. I know it's not really a major threat this format, but it is something you do need to consider. Especially given the fact that it can be Ghost Spelled as well, with its add back from grave effect. So to follow on for this, we have 1 Serenade Dance and 2 Perfume. As you can see, I am going quite heavy on the reborn aspects. Again, not once per turn, having 5 of them available with the 3 Tiger and 2 Perfume means that you can just keep comboing off. Perfume's graveyard effect is also not once per turn, where you banish it and discard to add any Lunalight from deck to hand. And it's a similar thing with Serenade Dance. You banish it from grave, discard for effect though, not for cost, to be able to special summon a Lunalight from the deck. So Silverhound becomes a starter, whereas Perfume becomes more of an extender. And the final card that is not technically a Lunalight card, but might as well be, Polymerization. You have to play this card because of Black Sheep and because of your access to Liger Dancer. Without it, you can't really get too far. So that is it for the Lunalight aspect of the deck. As you can see, that's only 18 cards, including the Polymerization, which is not that much really. So you'll wonder what we supplement this with. So we have the additional starter extenders, being 1 Fractal, 3 Tenki, and 3 Foolish Barrel Goods. Tenki just adds any Beast Warrior from deck to hand. It can add Gold Leo, it can add Tiger, it can add Kaleido Chick, it can add whatever you want, and really helps you just immediately combo off. Fractal is a discard for effect cost, and then send 1 from deck to grave, so you just usually send Silverhound and then just combo off from there. Foolish Barrel Goods is there to send Serenade Dance 9 times out of 10. Serenade Dance is, like I said, another starter. It's a bit less susceptible to modern hand traps. Really helps get you going, and it is one of the best starters in the deck, I find personally, as you do not play into draw. To add into that, we have Black Gut Laughs. Yet again, another incredible send of Village Barrel Goods. It helps break boards. It helps you set up a board when you're going first. Like, drawing that card is never a bad thing, especially since you do need to discard quite a few times. Now, this is where my personal degeneracy comes into play and where I'm playing the deck very different to everyone else. I'm playing one copy of Engraver. Pretty obvious why. It's part of a one-card Caesar. Ending with Caesar on your board along with a Liger Dance is absolutely incredible. Not many people can be able to play through 2 special summon negates along with a board wipe at any point. But to add into that, I'm playing Flag and Protoss. Try and play through Protoss Call, whatever attribute you think's best, because you can get access to all of them here. It is never difficult. I've been able to do it to pretty much everyone I've done. Protoss is winning me more games than anything else, and being able to access it so quickly with the Lunalight engine is incredible. So now for the pure non-engine aspects, we have what I consider the 2 must plays, Talents and Callby. Draw can hurt you quite a bit. You can play through it quite a lot thanks to the Engraver package, along with a lot of the rank 4s that you can go into, but you do need outs to that card. And Talents can just rip a card from the hand, which is what I'm doing most of the time, although if I'm going second, I'm stealing a card and using it for my own degeneracy. Following this up with hand traps, 3 Fua, 3 Perulia, 3 Droll. These speak for themselves really. Droll is the current best card in the format in terms of interruption. It stops all the best decks, including this, and along with Ryziel and Mitsurugi. Fua and Perulia are just there to slow down anyone who wants to play against you. 9 times out of 10 though, you will just be taken out for side. As you can see, this is a clean 40. As I said, I was playing Wolf and Fusion in the Locust videos that you will see. I've taken them out. I don't like them. They're very win-more, not necessary at all. For the extra, we are only playing 4 Lunalight names in the extra, being Perfume, Leo, Liger, and Saber. You can recycle these quite easily, surprisingly well. You only really need Leo and Perfume for your combo. Leo's always being sent just to make a Liger, and Perfume just helps you set up. Saber is there just as a send-off Liger to help with OTKs. Not really much more to say about that. Liger is always on your end board if you can make it. For the Fiend Spirit package, as I said, this is just a Caesar Turbo. So we have Moon, Requiem, Necroquip, and Caesar. You can make Moon very easily. You can get 2 bodies on board, no problem, even under Droll. Requiem speaks for itself, Necroquip speaks for itself, and so does Caesar. So very much similar to the Memento plays, where you bring out 1 Engraver, turn it into a Necroquip, bring it back, make Caesar, and that's it for the Fiend Spirit package. I'm not going Desiree, I'm not going Lacrima. I don't think it's necessary. It just clogs up this deck more, and it's not something you really need. In terms of the rank 4s, of course, we are playing Tiger King, Banshee for the Protoss play, Dugares, and Baguska. Baguska is there as kind of your worst case scenario play. I don't like making it. I would much rather have Protoss than Baguska, but there are some cases where you will have to go into Baguska due to interruptions. Dugares is just a constant threat. It's a monster reborn, it's a draw, it's a double attack. 9 times out of 10, I'm just using it to reborn something so I can do some more degeneracy with Protoss. Like I said, I can just reborn Fualos for wins, or I can get any Earth from grave out like Cross Sheep. Very, very powerful card for this. And the final 3 cards, speaking of Cross Sheep, IP, and SP. Cross Sheep's part of your main combo. IP and SP are just flex cards. I honestly never go into them. Protoss, as I said, it's just the be-all end-all for this deck right now. It's what I always try and turbo into. It's what I use to break boards. It's what I use to solidify my board. I want to make it so that my opponent can't break my board at all, because that is what people mainly do try and do against this deck, especially with Kaijus and Lava Golems. Whereas if you've got a Protoss on board, Protoss Call, the most likely scenario will be Dark. You will buy yourself a turn. In terms of the side, we are playing the must play Lancia. Malice is still the best deck in the format. Lancia does hit Malice, it hits Crystron, it does hit this to a degree, although not as much with this build, but with other builds it really hurts. I've got 3 Impulse in here. Now Impulse is only in the side because I am doing some Fiendsmith plays. So when I go aside against certain decks, I will take the Fiendsmith package out completely and put the Impulses in instead, just so we don't have that conflict. When I'm going second, what always comes in is Double Thrust and Heavy Poly. I do not care about taking the 55 life point damage to bring out a Liger Dancer immediately. It threatens the board. Your opponent has to stop this at all costs. Otherwise, you can pretty much just destroy the board immediately. To follow on this, we've got some board breakers, being Double Storm, 1 Duster. Duster is actually coming up a lot this format. I'm finding that hitting the Vanquish Soul back row along with the Rizal back row is really, really good. Into the Malice one, it's not as good because they will just negate it, but at the very worst case scenario, you stop to negate early, which helps a lot of your plays. And for the final cards in my side currently, we have the Dim Barrier, Mischief. These are just thrust sets for when you are going first and you have been interrupted to high heaven. Like I said, you'll probably still end on Caesar or at very worst Baguska, but having one of these to back it up means you are in a very, very good spot. And finally, Cowboy for game. You can make rank 4s very easily. As I said, this can rank 4 turbo into anything you want really. I've gone for Cowboy as my time card. There is other options that you could do. The Fire Fist Swan, I think it's called, the fusion card, which just takes 2 Beast Warrior monsters and then will burn for 600 if you have a Fire Formation spell or trap. So since we do play tanky, you can go into that quite easily. But I prefer to have Cowboy as it's just so much simpler to make. It's an instant game win in time scenarios. Although, if you do play this version, you will find that won't happen. Now, in terms of a combo guide, I will include just one combo I did with a test hand on Dueling Book. This deck is non-linear. It's one of the main reasons I really enjoy it. So it's not a case of just follow A to B. You have so many different ways to get to the same end board. But just to showcase what I try and make sure my end board is, the only card from the main deck that's on there is Protoss, followed with a Lyre Dancer, a Caesar, and then depending on the hand I have and what my opponent is, I quite often will actually end with Moon on board. Moon gives me the light target for Protoss, although like I said, I am mainly going dark, but it does give you that option. But obviously you can end with different things on board, such as Cross Sheep for if you want to call Earth. You could even end with leaving an Infernal Flame Banshee if you want to call Fire. And if you really needed to get into the wind, you can put the Dugaras on board to bring back a Fualos to then call wind. Although that is very unlikely in this format. It is generally dark you're going to call, as that shuts off nearly every deck. If not that, it will be light. So there's very, very little chance to call the others. Although against Memento, you do want to call Earth, so make sure that you do have a Baguska or a Cross Sheep at the ready for that very specific scenario. But that's it for this version of the deck. I probably won't iterate on this deck further, as I feel like this is the ultimate version you can be playing until a new ban list comes. Protoss needs to go. There is no reason for this card to exist in this format. I don't know why it ever came back. With the way I'm playing the deck, I'm winning the minute this hits the board. This should not be allowed. No card should linger like that. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little explanation. Like I said, we will include a combo guide so that you can see what the deck can do. But yeah, I hope you enjoy. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Please make sure you follow our sponsors, which are Ultimate TCG, Zen Books and Asta's World. They're all doing some incredible things right now, and we'll include a discount code in the description for Ultimate TCG to get yourself things even cheaper off their already incredibly cheap site. Thank you very much for watching. Have a lovely day.